of the cool collectors, collector items that 10 years ago, back to the phone, like I said. So yeah, let's get it done. We'll never print them.
And the website is
SwingEyeCo.com.
cool.
SwingEyeCo.com.
Are you going to stick around with us to talk about this week's episode?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, totally. Okay, here we go.
Attention shoppers, Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, Deadcast Top 5 this week. We're talking about Season 2, Episode 11, Judge, Jury, Executioner, directed by Greg Nicotero.
Yep. And I liked this episode.
There are lots of people yelling at each other.
I like it though. I like it. You know, out of so again, we have a rating system here. If you want to play along, we rate things on 0 to 5 brains, 5 being the best, of course. So for me, this was 4 out of 5 brain episode.
I'm going to say, just because I got here from Greg, I'm going to say 5.
That's hilarious. Okay.
Episode ever.
But they're all 5. So you know what? I purely direct. I mean, I want to really pay honor to Greg too, because I thought the pacing and this was great, acting, the editing, everything was great, except for, in my opinion, the writing. I don't know if you listened, Danny, but I've rated just about every episode of Walking Dead really highly. But I had a really strong reaction to this one. This is the first time, and I'm just going to give it 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
I know, man. I can't lie though. I gotta be true to what I'm really thinking here. I know I should just quit doing this podcast. But one question before we start. So in the last 10 points, that what my problem was with the whole thing. In the last episode, Rick decided not to leave Randall for dead when he said he knew Maggie in school, right? He's like, oh wait, maybe we should leave him here, so they grab him. But then they just bring him back to the farm. They don't check up on his story, and they decide to kill him. I was like, well, he was better off if he didn't say he knew Maggie, because at least he would have had a fighting chance.
Yes.
I mean, they didn't kill him, but I didn't get that. Why would you do that?
Right. Hold on, Danny. You want to win that?
Well, you're desperate, just saying, that was everything he said.
I'm just saying, why didn't Rick, when he took him back over to Maggie, and say, hey, you know this guy?
I don't think Maggie's like doing high school medicine.
One of our emails. Okay, so we have our top 5 highlights from this episode. Do you have a top 5, Danny?
Yeah.
Okay, why'd you go first?
I'm going to say I love the idea of the zombie second life.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's not even a zombie. He's walking and just go straight into that mill. And it's kind of funny that the show is basically showing out, or pointing out all the problems that zombies have, just being around. I mean, you can see all those movies. They're always, chasing after this guy. Second life, tell me that.
Zombies have problems too.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff like revolving doors and, happy forces they can't get out.
Right, they're locking cars.
Yeah, exactly. So that zombie second life is kind of like, oh, poor guy.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
But that zombie stuck in the mud looked great. One of the best looking zombies, I think, and moved really well too.
It did. It's so funny that you say that, because when Dana watching, he says, that's CGI.
That's what I thought too, but
It's not. It's an actor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
just,
the first picture I got was just blown away. I mean, he looks so good. And he did an awesome job. And I was actually talking to make sure he never started blinking. The same eye that he had for so creepy. So
And it was cool. That whole scene with Carl just kind of staring him down in his own kind of creepy way and kind of taunting Danger by getting a little closer each time. It's just, that was my favorite scene. I gave this episode 2, but I love that scene.
yeah.
no, that's like when you're a kid. You don't do what you find that awesome. What's the thing you do? That's kind of like you look at.
Of course. Karen?
I'm poking Jason right now. You can't see me poking him. So my number 5, actually, speaking of Carl, was Carl. I like how they're evolving his character. They're basically turning him into a little psycho.
A future serial
This was a real Carl intensive episode. He did a lot of things, like creepy things in this episode, going to visit Randall, getting chased out of the barn, Randall locked up, visiting a swamp zombie, almost getting bitten by the swamp zombie, stealing the gun, going through Daryl's motorcycle kit.
Going and visiting Randall and kind of giving him the evil eye.
Yeah, not saying anything.
Maybe Carl's gonna shoot him. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I know, right? I thought, oh my god, this is anyway. Telling Carol there is no heaven, fool. Yeah, telling his dad, do it, Dad, do it. Yeah, it was kind of interesting. By the way, how come nobody's keeping an eye on this kid? I mean, especially what happened to Sophia. You think that little Sally homemaker Lori, who professes to be all things, would be looking, having one eye on him all the
Just
time.
hanging out on the phone. Yeah, going out and killing zombies.
I think they're, by the way, I'm not giving anything away, don't worry, but I think they're setting Carl for something interesting coming up.
Yeah, I really enjoyed all that stuff too.
Yeah. I'm glad they kind of did that episode with him. Getting in trouble, kind of change it. Getting people out there.
Right.
Oh my god, yes.
Video games and TV, everything else.
That's all gone. It just pokes zombies.
Okay, my number 5. I would have normally made this my number 1. I want to talk about it right away. So, in my view, this episode had a huge flaw, and it really bugged me. And it was that it was just hard for me to believe that everybody would side with Rick, that it was right to kill Randall. I think maybe a few people would, like I believe that Daryl would, even Carl and Shane, of course, but not everybody, especially not Glenn and Maggie and Rachel and
Dale and Andrea.
yeah, but everybody else.
Everybody else, yeah.
And I just don't think they're at that point yet. Like maybe if they had a lot of trouble with live people up until now, and a lot of discord and everything, that maybe they would be less trusting. But at this point, they've just been attacked by zombies, and you think their instinct would be to try and make allies. And also, even if that's not interesting, it's just a big deal to me to decide to kill a guy who you really have no evidence is bad, and nobody even went to talk to him really. I mean, the only people that saw him were like Shane and Carl and Rick, maybe.
That seems incomprehensible to me, given the fact that probably at this point the farm is pretty darn boring, and I can't believe they're not going to try to talk to him and find out some information. Like, hey, where are your people? Just wondering, where are your people located? By the way, are you at a school somewhere? Are you at an apartment complex?
That's true. Yeah, that would have been smart.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I would think, maybe I'm totally wrong if I was there, I wouldn't write there with everybody else. But I think if I was there, I'd at least just want to go talk to him, try to get a sense of him. If he seemed like he might be trustworthy, maybe let him stick around as a prisoner for a while, get to know him a little better,
Yeah.
or something other than just kill him. And then another thing that got me is that Rick doesn't kill him. Okay, to me, it all felt like this is a way to set Dale up as a loner so that he can have his big moment before he gets killed off.
Wow.
And it's a way for Rick to be the one to make this turn in the end, decide that they should save their humanity for Carl's sake, because Carl was there. That was the reason why he didn't kill him, because Carl was there saying do it, But with that ending, it turns out that everybody else, it seems to redeem Rick, but everybody else's souls are still scarred because they had wanted him to kill Randall. And then Rick couldn't even shoot Dale in the face at the end. And like, I would have totally respected him for doing that because Dale is sitting there suffering and obviously wants to get shot. And Rick can't do it. So the fact that Rick can't shoot Dale, I'm like, you wanted him to shoot Randall, can't shoot anybody, not even people that obviously should be shot. So that's true. But I'm glad Shane didn't come in and shoot Dale. That would have been really harsh. But anyway, that's pretty much my big vomit of negativity. The rest of it is
I'm not really just, I think they're just being protective of what they already have. And when they were how people were friendly. I mean, they were the 2 guys that met the bar when they killed them. So they shoot them, and then the other people were shooting them. So I think, I don't know, I give you on their side too. You have to
a lot of people agree that are written in and stuff. Okay, it's your turn, Danny.
Mine is, I'm going to say, was my number 4 moment. I'm a big Romero fan. I've been a fan of zombies ever since I was a kid. I liked the Dale Stump getting opened up. That might be back to the dog that David Stump rating. So to me, I was like, we'll see. Because that was one of those moments in Romero. He can get their stomach open up zombie. So that's my number 4 moment.
And actually, that brought me my biggest laugh of the night. Not that that was funny at all, but afterwards, when Rick said, "We got to operate on him right here in the middle, in the dark, next to the dead cow. There's a zombie right there." Yeah, they love their field operations on the show.
I just like, to me, it's, those are great moments. And, those movies were just zombie entries into people's stomachs and just, they could have shown them the stomach. And that was a cool moment because it kind of brought me back to the 80s and, early days of zombie horror. So I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
See,
No, totally. That's good. I like to cover all these different areas, and I love when they do kind of callbacks to the classic moments like that. And there's others that I'm sure we'll see as the show goes on.
Absolutely. I think so my number 4, which is actually my number 1, I want to cover it first, second, is the ending. So I have a question for you, Jason. I know because I was on the Facebook page, and I'm not a fan of spoilers, and I wasn't spoiled. I was shocked. I did not see the ending coming, but I know that there was something leaked, and I didn't go and see what it was. Was this what was leaked?
No.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
So Carl's
Kidding. So that's very interesting. Okay. So were you shocked when they?
No, I knew about this one too, because this was also leaked. But this was leaked in a way where you had to go into a geeky forum to find out. So the leak was like you could barely avoid it.
Okay, that's interesting. So anyways, that was mine. I did not see it coming, and I love that the entire episode Dale spends sort of quietly campaigning against the death Melody one by one. And did you know that Andrew was a civil rights lawyer? Did you know that?
Yeah, I think she said that when we interviewed her.
She's a civil rights lawyer. Yeah, well, I'm sure I maybe not the question about that. Sad. Yeah, I loved it. That's one reason why I loved this episode. I actually thought that the pacing felt really, really slow, but it all made sense at the end. And at the end, sort of redeemed the whole thing. So yeah, the end was fantastic to me. That's secretly my number
I
one.
like that too. My number 4 I like is actually another negative thing. Dale torturing Randall. I mean Daryl. Daryl torturing Randall. Like it wasn't even clear what information he wanted because he was hitting him really hard.
Yeah.
And so when he came back to talk to the Rick and the crew, he said that they have 30 guys and they're heavily armed and that they're rapists. But Randall had already told him all that and he was still hitting him.
Yeah.
it's like 24. Like I don't want the show to become like a cop show or a show where we're supposed to be desensitized to this kind of thing. You know, the show's fine and I don't actually mind it that much, but I feel like The Walking Dead is about real people grounded in reality. And so I really maybe Daryl would be like that, but I just didn't like that.
Maybe Daryl was just getting some frustration on that kid, maybe for philosophy or something. Maybe that was him just kind of, I'm just going to hear, release some tension.
Yeah, what he perceives as the enemy. Yeah, that's actually a good point because he's really got a lot of that lately, like anger and resentment and stuff. All right, Danny.
He kind of took mine because I guess mine was Daryl kind of just overall in this episode because like you were pointing out, he got all this information, and to me it kind of showed that he's kind of a bad guy, but he also has his limits. Even though he can be, really bad and, kind of bigoted and whatnot. He does have, morals. And I think when he heard about those guys, what they were doing, it kind of showed that he was like, man, that's messed up, and even at the end when he shot Dale, to me you could tell that he really cares. And, I don't know, you see more of they're building up for something for that. I think he's really protective of this group, even though he wants to be kind of the outsider. Kind of the Wolverine of the group. Kind of a loose cannon, he's a good guy, but, so I like Daryl in this episode. I like how they kind of, had him almost the hero of this episode. So,
Yeah. He also was great because he figured out that Shane killed Otis.
Oh yeah, right.
Remember? I mean, he can't believe that Rick can't see that. And even his great quote was something like, Rick can't see that because he doesn't want to. It's so obvious for him.
Yeah. The point is like it's sort of when that first happened, it seemed like, oh my god, Shane killed Otis. If anybody finds out, they're but these days it's sort of like, yeah, we know, don't worry about it.
yeah, I think Daryl, like, I was going to go because he would have this upset, where
Yeah,
he's just like, so,
Yeah.
And I agree at the end when he was the one who had the guts to put Dale out of his misery. That was a good moment.
yeah. So, I like Daryl character.
I do too. We secretly love him. That's secretly. My next one is Dale in this episode. I thought Jeffrey Dunn did a wonderful job, and I'm going to miss him. Even though they haven't really used him as much as they could this season, he played a much bigger role I thought in season 1. He was fantastic in this. He actually made me cry when because if you side with, if it's Rick versus Dale, Rick's worldview versus Dale's worldview, I side with Dale. And he made me really cry when he was talking in the living room, and his eyes were full of tears, and he says, that boy changes us. And if you want an example of that, just look over at Carl. Carl used to be this nice little kid, and now he's this crazy little bloodthirsty psycho. And he just, he pleads in the living room. This is a young man's life. Oh my god, he was fantastic. So, 2 thumbs up for Jeffrey Dunn, and I hope he doesn't do things.
When he said, he had a lot of great lines. Obviously I side with him too. And when he said, "What? So Randall's automatically guilty by association and sentenced to death? He's just a kid." I thought that is so reasonable. Why are you people not listening to this? And this episode made me feel, and I really tried not to get too political on this podcast, but it really made me feel like when we went to war with Iraq, and I was like, no, why? No, people die. There'll be a lot of death, and there's no reason for this. It's like, everybody's sitting away. But now Dale, I'm going to talk a little bit about this because it's one of my other things that I'll just talk about now. In the comic, Dale and Andrea as a couple is one of my favorite things, and also some later plot elements, But the characters have kind of diverged at this point, and I don't want Dale to die either. But like I said before, I actually like it when they have the courage to kill off major characters.
Yeah,
so in that sense, I'm okay with it. But I'm sad to see him go. And we've heard rumors that one of the cast members who was close with Daredevil decided to leave Daredevil. I'm pretty sure it was Jeffrey Dunn. It's just hearsay, but and then we heard that maybe he changed his mind, but it was too late because they'd already said it all that. I don't know if that's true. It doesn't sound true. Anyways, yeah, it's a sad moment, but it's a very impactful and powerful moment too. So overall, good.
Yeah, it was really beautiful.
And I think it's my turn, and mine was actually Carl, which we already talked about. So pass it on to Danny.
Okay, I'm going to go with, my moment was, and this goes back to the zombie. I think there was just one zombie in this episode, but he was, just one zombie. It seems like, everybody thinks zombies is a bunch of them, but it was just one zombie that kind of caused a lot of, issues throughout this episode, and then, again, for Dale. So I just thought it was just one zombie that was kind of through the episode, and the fact that Carl didn't say anything and all that, and, kind of wrapped up again, where it was just this one single skinny little zombie caused all this. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And he was skinny, by the way. Whoever played him was unbelievably And actually, my next one is sort of related to that. The parallel between the zombie and Randall. So Carl failed to kill the zombie in the swamp. The zombie came back and killed Dale. Rick failed to kill Randall, and now Randall's around. And who knows what's going to happen? Is he going to, then they take off the chains? What does he do? So I love that they're saying that little parallel.
And another interesting parallel was just the whole act of Carl hanging out near this dangerous person or creature or whatever. It had a similar feel when he was with Randall.
Yeah,
as the zombie.
exactly,
That was really cool.
exactly.
And my number 2 was also the zombie, so we already talked about that. Danny?
Well, I guess my number one was that Dale got the way he wanted to be a martyr. So, now he's just, everybody's like, oh, shut up, Dale, shut up, Dale. Now he's like, what would Dale do?
That's good.
Everybody's got a mentality now. Like, he was, I think a lot of people like Dale. I always loved Dale. Like, in the first season, I don't know way up now. And so, like I said, he was available. And I think it's going to make a lot of people think, and yeah, I think he got to go out that way at least. That people are like, oh, yeah, we got to go to Dale now. So,
Actually, yeah, that's great. I haven't thought about that, but I hope you're right because the alternative is that everything just descends into chaos. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Could be good too, but.
Maybe Glenn will step up and be the and fill Dale's shoes.
I'm copyrighting that t-shirt.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
And you got a picture of Dale. A picture of Dale with his guts hanging out.
My number one was actually something you didn't like about this, and that was I liked the actual writing, and I liked the directing. Actually, didn't
I love the directing.
Sorry, he loved the directing. Angela King wrote the episode, and I really loved it. I loved some of the little moments, like the one moment when Dale talks to Daryl, and we discussed that where he's saying, if Rick doesn't figure out that Shane killed Otis because he doesn't want to. And I liked there were a lot of little moments like that, and I thought the writing was concise and effective and really moving. So also, gosh, Georgia looked gorgeous. Basically, I know you're on here. Oh my goodness, it was so beautiful. Getting great job.
Yeah, beautiful. And I feel bad. Like, I also thought the writing was great. Actually, it was just that one thing. Everybody sided with Rick that kind of shook me up. Otherwise, like, the moments were very well done. It was slow paced, but every moment felt essential. So that's good. My number 1, we've pretty much gone over. It's Dale. Yeah, I just love Dale. I'm glad he got his big episode. He had to go. He was really awesome. Every moment was great. And sorry, Cinco. Moment of silence. Yeah, but he went funk. That was his hand hitting the ground. That's a good. Money. That's a good.
Yes, we did. Danny Dorn.
So I just a couple of notes. Already said, but great job directing. I'm glad they had some really awesome zombie moments in this because I'm sure he relished that. I love everything with the zombie they did. When Andrea asked Shane, what do you want to do? Lock everyone in a room, take their guns. I like that Shane kind of looked up like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Not really being adult, and it made me think, oh, that could be an interesting possibility for the future of the show. T-Dog barely said a word. Yeah, and it's like this would be a great opportunity for T-Dog to weigh in on this heavy philosophical conundrum and so he get a little more experience. But nope, we don't get
Nope, just all.
That's it. And then lastly, I like seeing Rick this one, Carl. Don't talk, think. Such a father-son moment.
You remember that for when Nico's older.
Okay.
Don't talk, think.
My thing about it is the monologue of just doing what's right. Then it happens. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm not going to be drinking game. I'm going to drink a monologue. Yeah, do my thing.
And you have to continue drinking as long as he's talking.
That's hilarious.
All right, anything else you guys want to say about it?
No.
All right, Danny, our rule we have on the show?
What's that?
Everyone does a zombie sound.
Okay, I can do one, but I'm a big fan of the 15 zombies. Again, the child of the 80s, like zombie moans, so I'm more of a thriller, with a thriller, with a zombie versus Michael Jackson, and James moans. So that's me, this is what I'm going to go. All right, here we go.
In honor of this episode. Awesome, Danny. Thanks so much. We'll do some listener top 5 when we get to listener ones. For now, that's it for the top 5. And I just want to thank you, Danny, for coming on. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
20eyesco.com.
Yeah, check out the next videos. They're much longer, so I'm again.
Okay.
That's great.
Take care.
Take
Take a break. If you want to come, stay with us.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
and we are going to be reviewing this book that I talked about last time. It's called Triumph of the Walking Dead. It's by Smart Pop Press. Before we get started, though, I mentioned there's a contest to win this book, and everybody's in the chat room, so we have a few people in the chat room. Get your typing fingers ready. Whoever answers the next question that I utter first wins a copy of this book. And just to let you know, I actually really dug it. I didn't read it over last week. So here's the question: what is Robert Kirkman's favorite zombie sound?
Oh,
Deidre got it. Good job. Aaron didn't remember
I thought he was up. Yeah, so I kind of got it. Yeehaw. That's what I thought it was. Yeah, he actually interviewed him.
Yeah.
And asked him what was your favorite zombie sound.
He said, yeah. So, Deidre, you win. You can either put your email address in the chat, or if you don't want everybody email you, just send it to Brains of Walking Dead.
Congratulations. Well done.
Okay, so let me just talk a little bit about this book. It sounds like it might be dry because it's a book of essays about The Walking Dead by mostly teacher professors.
Academics.
Yeah, there's some authors in there, but
It scholarly works.
but I was reading it and I was totally drawn in by it. It's a bunch of different essays about totally different facets of The Walking Dead and zombies in general, comic books. It's about the show, the comic history of comics,
Women are portrayed in the series, and yeah.
leaders, like how Rick functions as a leader, and it really does open up your imagination about the story. It helps you appreciate. If you're a big fan, you gotta be a big fan of it,
Right,
but it helps you appreciate the story even more. So I'm gonna read, like, in the first essay, it's called Pathos of The Walking Dead by this professor Kyle William Bishop. He talks about how horror is the only genre that gives you a literal experience of emotion. I don't know if I agree with that. I do agree that it's one of the most intense, and that's why people like it so much. But for it to work, you need to care about the characters and identify with them, so you feel like you're in their place and you're in danger. And that's so he talks about how people complain about Walking Dead because there aren't that many zombies, but really it makes it even more impactful because you get to know these people so much that when they are in danger, you feel it's more emotional.
Yeah.
I know, it's an interesting idea. And there's this other guy, Jonathan Mayberry, who's an author, and he wrote about Rick as a leader and taking to a leader. But he started off with an examination of how modern civilization might react to a natural post-apocalyptic event. And I'm going to just read an excerpt from that because I think his writing's really good. He says, the view most frequently espoused by writers is that civilizations we know would not survive an apocalypse even if people did. It's not that we could survive, but the simple and overwhelmingly common view is that we won't. Here's a logic for why the odds are in our favor in global disaster. We have become fatally soft. We can buy the technology that has allowed us to conquer the rest of the planet. The weakness comes from being continually resource rich in our daily lives. We have clothing, multiple forms of transportation, medicine, readily available food sources, deliveries of goods, affordable repairs, replaceable parts, and access to virtually endless information via cell phones and the internet. We feel helpless or threatened. We know that there are various, or when we feel helpless, we know there are various levels of protection, from security guards and shopping malls to cops to the military. When we're confused, we have all manner of leaders tell us what to do and how to think. The fact that we're surrounded by structure encourages us to believe in its effectiveness and permanence. Our weakness is exacerbated by our trust that the system will always reset itself. Once the system fails and we become convinced of its failure, that's when we stop being who we are. Where once we were empowered by being members of complex and resource-rich societies, we suddenly become individually weaker, which in turn weakens the species. We drop way lower on the food chain and we become less prepared for long-term survival than, say, your cat, Mr. Shuffles.
Actually, that's a great passage because that really shows you sort of the tone of the book and how it is a serious. It's different authors giving different takes of different aspects of this, and there's funny ones and they go pretty deep, but they also are really interesting. I just read a couple. I didn't have huge amount of time. I loved it. So
Yeah, some goes into some of the history behind zombies and comics and things. Yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. So I highly recommend it. Triumph of The Walking Dead.
congratulations. I believe it's pronounced Dedra.
Oh, sorry. Of course. Okay, let's move on to news about The Walking Dead. Just a few things today. AMC is developing this new sci-fi horror series. I like to report on the AMC stuff sometimes, even though it's not totally relevant.
Network.
It's called 99 Stories. It says the show is set in a new 99-story high-rise building in which a group of strangers gets trapped. Each story presents a different kind of challenge for the group. Each story of the building, I guess.
Yeah.
Sounds like a weird,
Interesting.
yeah, like abstract
Yeah.
sci-fi.
Did they reveal why they're trapped?
It doesn't say. There's very little information so far, but it reminded me of that. We talked about this movie, The Cube, before. These people
Yes.
trapped in this cube.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So hopefully it's cool like
The
that.
rectangle.
So the elevators are in control of your destiny, wheeling each of these guys out by deciding who they deem deserve to go up. So,
Pretty surprising.
I know, yeah.
Nice.
Okay. We already talked about Dale. Remember that he was the one that jumped ship because they're
Yeah.
Don't go to that. Okay. Last thing. So there's a big spoiler out there that you mentioned, and I'm not going to reveal it, but I'm going to say part of it, which will make it a minor spoiler. So if you don't want to hear that, you should move to the next section right now. But it's kind of video. So the AMC online store accidentally leaked an upcoming character's death. That's all I'm going to say. In the description of their season 2 Blu-ray, which they're advertising, it says this special limited edition Blu-ray includes bonus features such as the making of the barn, an extended zombie cutscene, so-and-so's last episode.
Really? That's a big mistake. I'm surprised.
Pistol whip, don't that one.
By Daryl.
Yeah, exactly. I'll never do this.
We need to hear about it.
Okay, that's the news. Let's move on to Listener Rose Rose.
Brains.
As usual, for emails, last week's episode, we'll move into one this week.
And this one's from Seth from LA. You mentioned being confused about Shane's comment that Otis had no business being there. I think Shane meant the same thing. Hang on a second. What do you mean by what?
Shane said he had no business being here in last week's episode.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I think Shane meant the same thing he did when he referred to Dale being pretty much dead already. A large man who looks delicious to walkers with no hope to survive in the new world of the zombie apocalypse. Also, that zombie sandwich scene, watch again after he fires third round walker's mouth. That smoking gun sticking through his head was awesome. Yeah. You know what? Seth from LA. I thought about that. And I thought, you know what? I bet that's a rubber head. And I bet that's actually a gun poking through a rubber head. That was kind of my guess. Or maybe it's CGI. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's fabulous.
Cool. This one I can do right too about what Shane said. By the way, this one's from Evan. I think Rick missed a great opportunity when Fence Through the Leg Boy asked for a gun. He should have handed him the anti-python. It might not have convinced him to totally trust him, but had he heard them clicking behind him, he would damn sure know what to do with Fence Through the Leg Boy at that point. Good idea.
I've never heard of Virgin Python.
On a separate note, for the Talking Dead after show, Chris Hardwick's suit was moderately stylish. I wondered if he'd heard to talk about his style and tried to class it up a little. That'd be something I care less about if it not been mentioned just a week prior on your show. Was there any chance your podcast infected that kind of change?
That's probably true.
Yes,
Yeah, that kind of
that's
power. Love you. This one's from either, I'm going to say Cerny, CERNY. I'm going to go Cerny. Cheers, Deaders. In the last 10 minutes or so of the podcast, the subject of whether Randall lied about knowing Maggie was raised. Randall mentioned he knew Maggie via school, but that she would never have known who he was. From Randall's tone, it seems as if he was interested in Maggie, but Randall was probably in a lower social circle. This would bring up some interesting dynamics if Randall is not executed. Randall's zombie killing bravura is in direct opposition to Glenn's love, angsty, inaction in the face of danger. What if Maggie prefers Randall's machismo? A new potential mate for Maggie could certainly be the impetus for Glenn to grow some hairy ones. Wow. Cerny, thanks, and thanks for all the tongue twisters. Love you.
I don't know. I think Glenn's love angsty in action was just a one-off fluke because remember in the pharmacy he protected her and saved her life.
Yeah, with like a piece of shelving or something.
Hopefully he'll continue to do that. But you could have a point. Let's see. Yep. The interesting twist. This is from John. Do you think that perhaps Lori did miscarry in the car wreck and that the stillborn child may reanimate and kill her from the inside Amy style? That'd be the perfect ending for such a wretched character.
I
hate zombie babies. What? It's too much for me.
Because you're on the zombie baby?
That's true. Oh. No, I thought it'd be pretty cool actually. Yeah, I like it. No, that's an interesting idea. She did miscarry when it turned into a zombie and then it would come popping out of her chest and then Rick would say, oh yeah, dinner said no matter how you die, you're gonna be a zombie. So that explains my zombie kid.
Yeah, I don't like the thought of it reanimating and eating its way out from inside of her. I actually kind of do like that. This is Hello guys, did you notice that when Rick was trying to shoot the last zombie of the sandwich, instead of trying to bite his hand, he was trying to defend himself to not get shot in the face? It seemed weird to me. What do you guys think?
I watched it again after I read this, and it's true. He had two zombies that he already shot in the head on top of it. And he was trying to get that one zombie like 2 or 3 times, batted it away.
Yes, yeah.
Like, oh, smart.
Do you think that's what he was doing?
Yeah, I think that's why Rick was like, oh, okay, fine, and he shoved it right into the guy's head. So they made a choice because they thought it would be a cool scene for Rick to shoot a zombie through another zombie's head to make the zombie smart enough to bat guns away. That's why
I like it. It was an efficient use of bullets.
This one's from Andy. Daryl and Andrea are my favorite characters, so I felt I had a right to you and Andrew's defense after listening to your last show. First of all, regarding Beth's suicide, while I can understand why Maggie was angry with Andrea did the right thing in the end. Looking at it from an emotional perspective, what Andrea did would be upsetting to Beth's family and anyone who loves her. However, the actions were logical and effective. Like Andrew said, you can't put Beth on suicide watch 24/7, especially in the middle of the zombie apocalypse when people have more pressing matters to take care of. And there's no time, no mental health resources. If Beth wants to kill herself, she would find a way. It's like someone who's addicted to drugs or alcohol. You can try to reason with them or keep them away from the substance, but until they have the desire to quit on their own, they'll always find a way to get high or drunk. You have to let them hit rock bottom and find no one will to do the right thing independently. This is what Andrea did to Beth.
I agree.
You got anything there, but I don't think addiction and suicide necessarily line up. Addiction is when you really need to have a certain substance or habit or whatever in order to like mask your pain and you get habituated to it. But suicide can happen in these like really intense periods in someone's life, and sometimes it's a call for help. And if you can just get them through that, they'll get through it and be over it. It's not like they're addicted to the idea of suicide necessarily, and it's possibly could be, but just in case, I think in more cases, people just need to be heard and help through that. You know, I don't think it correlates to addiction, so I don't agree with
Did we see Beth in the living room?
we saw Beth. I have a little thing. Here's Beth's contribution to this episode. It's actually Herschel and Beth together.
Doodle clock, go away home. Doodle clock, go away home.
That's it. She's in bed. And he's being a daddy.
Doodle bug, doodle bug.
I'm
Cute.
going to look at that at the end of the episode. So then she goes on, secondly, I hate Lori. I hated her before this last episode, and I hate her even more now after that last conversation she had with Andrea. Yes, cooking, cleaning, and other housework is nice and makes the group lifestyle more comfortable. However, there's no way that you can argue that during the zombie apocalypse, preparing sit-down family dinners and making sure everyone has fresh laundry are as vital to the group as keeping security watch on the farm and learning to shoot. Andrea's right that what she's doing is more important than Lori. What Lori provides to the group are nice luxuries, but what Andrea's doing is a necessity.
Damn right, Annie.
I actually totally agree with that, yeah.
Couldn't agree with you more. You're brilliant. We love you, Annie.
Not brilliant.
This next one's from Patrick. Andrea pissed me off in this episode. She was desperate to revive her lost chance to make a choice. I think that was hypocritical bullshit because she's glad to be alive now. To think that the choice was more important than risking the girl's life, she made a choice for someone else in a hypocritical move. Sorry, I'm just.
Okay,
Oh, Lord. I was happy to see the queens, Andrea and Lori going at it. That needs to happen more. I agree about that. That's awesome. And maybe a cat fighter too. That would be fabulous. Woo! Andrea guards and that hasn't seen a zombie come onto the farm since the one who got caught. Well, I have to tell you, Patrick, this next episode actually disagrees with that. Other than Camper and Holgard, Lori just wants to pull her weight, and Sitting Guard is not pulling her weight. Lori just wants her to pull her weight, and Sitting Guard is not pulling her weight. Wrong, Patrick. Wrong.
She's a good shot, so that's one thing that makes her more suited to that.
She's a total badass. She's like the shot of anybody.
Yeah, so I don't know. She could do a little cleaning here and there.
She's naturally suited. Do you see Rick and Shane cleaning anything?
No, just goofing everything up.
Yeah, and
Failing
Shane.
left and right. Okay, this is Rich from Vegas. He says, Lori, how stupid. Your stroll to town with a map almost made you chum.
That is a fabulous haiku, Rich. That is fabulous. I love it. Okay, this is from Lisa. Just listen to this week's podcast, and it seemed that we were miscommunicating. When you said that I hadn't sent haikus, I thought I had sent the limericks that are on the website. My bad. If you're interested in limerick, I attached one. My once was a woman named Lori, who acted a little bit hoary. Thought her husband was dead, and now with much dread wonders, will he buy my story? Also, another haiku. Brains, brains, brains. Cry the zombies. To avoid the horde, look for a safe spot to hide.
That is also not a haiku, by the way. But it is sort of an inverted haiku because it's 757, and haikus are 575.
But I like
Very nice.
inverted haiku, and I like limericks. Actually, limericks are my favorite from
Is that right?
Yes.
No clue.
Yep.
All right, you must know that.
I did.
Okay, from this point on, the emails are about this week's episode. This one's from Justin. What episode? I was totally not expecting that ending. I hid myself from the spoiler that was revealed last week, which wasn't that. So it hit me hard. Dale is, or was, one of my favorite characters because he seemed to be the last sane human. I will say I almost cried when he got attacked, but I was in so much shock I couldn't. I thought it'd be Shane that got the axe, but I was wrong. And my wife said, no Shane, no tension, no drama.
Aw.
By the way, did you catch the sneak peek for next week's episode? This is a little spoiler, but I think it's in the sneak peek, so hopefully you guys will get it. He says T-Dog runs to the shed to release Randall. He says something along the line of Governor's called down, he's letting you go. The line doesn't matter, just the word governor, a little foreshadowing, I say. Great show, those guys love the podcast.
Interesting.
T-Dog has a line after that.
Yay, T-Dog. This next one's from Evan. I began waxing poetic about all the deep social blah 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 this episode. By the way, he writes blah blah blah, not me. This episode had to offer, and it was a few, but really all I can manage is they killed Dale. Plenty of other good discussions to have, but right now all I can do is mourn the loss of Dale. The moral compass, protector of humanity, the Winnebago dragon Dale. Logically, I guess it was only a matter of time, and I'm sure some were glad to see him go because he was not a badass zombie killing machine, but he was an important element. Rest in peace, Dale. Somebody duct tape a shovel to Carl's hands. He needs to dig a hole deep enough to bury Dale. All part of him learning that there are consequences for his actions. They killed Dale. Oh, Evan, that's a really good email.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better. And you're right, Carl does need to dig that hole.
He needs to sit up with that
I want the fishing.
Next is from Kristen. My top 5 after this week's episode. 5. Creepy Carl just hanging out in the barn, in the barn again, being creepy all over the place, saying creepy things. I particularly like that when he was pitching stones at the walker like any rotten little boy, hitting rocks, squirrels, and birds. The world may have changed, but little boys will be little boys. And bunny sociopaths will be there too. 4. Daryl and his dirty angelings best while doing not so angelic things. Telling Dale that Shane killed Otis, walking Randall to the barn for execution, and in the end putting Dale down. It's not so subtle piece of imagery, but the portrait English major he loves every time I see it. But that whole sorry brother line was bullshit. They put it in the commercials that play like a teaser that Merle was coming back. 3. Don't talk thick. Even if there were no zombie apocalypse, more men should give that exact advice to their sons.
Amen. And daughters.
2. Dale doing his thing, trying to save Randall. He definitely is pro not murdering people, and that is actually good. That's usually good. Every group should have at least one dude that is willing to say, hey, don't murder people. Even like soccer team, especially when you have a bunch of heavily armed guys saying we need to murder the hell out of this. Number 1, Dale and Daryl at the end. I love the fact that the show usually doesn't forget where it has been. And the whole time this scene was playing out, I was thinking of season 1 when Dale, Daryl, Rick, and Shane were debating about what to do with Jim. This time Rick gave Dale his gun instead of putting it to his head. Oh yeah, I like that too. And it doesn't forget where it's been.
Yeah. And by the way, Kristen, you're a great
I
writer.
know.
Dang.
Yeah, you do know. Sending me your top 5.
Can you be my top 5? That'd be great. This one's from Rian. Rian writes, actually, she gives us her top 5 or bottom 5. Jason was right, though. I think I do still like the show. Or am I addicted? Oh, that's right. Didn't she last week say
She was
that?
a hater.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so her number 1 is these people have no humanity. First they save Randall just to first leave him for dead, then to torture him, and then they don't even have the decency to put him out of his misery. And speaking of putting someone out of his misery, the same place, the Dale situation. I get that they need a second or two to freak out, but once it became blatantly obvious that no amount of in the middle of their patch surgery would get him up on his feet again, they should have just done that favor from his leg. He was laying there for about 2 minutes. Instead, the last images they'll see are everyone freaking out, and then 2 men pointing guns at his head. Not to mention that he just fought off a zombie and his guts ripped out, all while fully conscious. What way to go? Completely agree. 2. For being so concerned with Carl's future, why is no one keeping track of him? That was my point. He definitely seemed to be out in the forest alone for a while, obviously long enough for something to happen to him. And then he's wandering around in the barn with a guy that everyone seems to be convinced is dangerous enough to torture and kill. Bad parenting right there. Watch it. Completely. Especially given what happened to Sophia. 3. The whole Randall situation. How did they all decide that this guy was a threat to their group? They act like they know his entire life story, but their only interaction with him has been when he was in a group that had just found out that 2 of their own were gunned down by strangers. Can you really blame them for shooting first? And since they decided to save him, they might have had a chance to nurse him back to health and win him over if he was a bad guy in the first place. At this point, I'm Randall for trying to escape and taking revenge on them. You know what I was like, no, for Herschel. What's up with the guy giving Glenn the family heirloom watch? Was that weird to anyone else? Guys, lost it, I'm sure.
I just kept thinking of Pulp Fiction where Christopher Watkins grandpa has watched his ass for 20 years or whatever it was.
You're not gonna have this. Oh my god, you're absolutely right. And number 5, something I've been meaning to point out for a while. Is it weird to anyone else that the zombies sleep? In this week's episode, the swamp zombie is totally zoned out because he's trapped in the mud. But we've seen this before. Last week, the wrench went through the window and the hand slowly rose up from the floor like he's been in the middle of a skip or something. And in season 1, you had the zombies kicking back and bust. It makes no sense to me that these creatures that are essentially programmed to do nothing but go after living devour flesh and find themselves so bored that they just stop taking a nap.
Well, in the show they call them walkers, but in the comic, Rick's group calls them either roamers or lurkers, and the roamers run around like the walkers, and the lurkers just kind of hang out in dark places and wait for food.
They're lazy.
So I guess, yeah, they just sort of shut down. They don't like lay down and kick back. They just kind of hang out. It's like kind of listen, zombie might hang out in a doorway or something.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, it's kind of boring being a zombie. So, you know, the swamp zombie is just bored.
But that's another good top 5 list.
Yeah, thank you for writing in, man.
So this was from Kelly. Don't have a top 5 things that happened. Here's my top 4 things I thought were going to happen. 4. Rick and Morty receive Parents of the Year award. 3. T-Dog has a line of dialogue. T-Dog should really just start going back the year because it's the freaking apocalypse.
Right.
T-Dog is the way to keep
Yeah, I agree.
2. All during the meeting, I expected to hear a gunshot. Everyone rushes out. They find creepy Carl shot Randall because the grown-ups couldn't do it. I thought that too.
Yeah.
1. Zombie cow.
I thought that was a zombie.
I know.
Thanks for writing, Kelly. This one's from Jessica. What the mother? Can I say that?
You can't say it, no.
What the mother? They ripped open the same zombie Carl was taunted? Carl? Thanks, Jessica.
This is from Stuart. Here's my top 5. 5. The outlook on Carl's face when he knows the walker that had done in Dale. Number 4. Herschel playing Doodle Bug with Beth. Doodle Bug. Number 3. Andrea having a change of heart and supporting Dale. That didn't feel real to me. Andrea was a monster.
I like it anyway.
That was just such a coincide with Dale right at the end. Number 2. Herschel having the talk with Glenn and giving the watch. Number 1. Even though I suspect allowing Randall to live might be a bad decision, I really respect Dale for taking the stage to everyone and standing up for him. I agree, it could be a bad decision, but
We'll see.
Finally, a farewell haiku for my buddy Dale. The poor gutted cow should have been a great big clue. Tell Amy hello.
Oh, this is hilarious, Stuart. Thank you for writing. This is from the other Jason. Dale argues that to kill Randall is to become what Randall's group already is. I beg to differ. Had Tony and his buddy been in the bar like Rick, Herschel, and Glenn, I don't believe Rick's group would have reacted the same way that Randall's group did. Also, we haven't seen Rick's group rape a guy's daughters while he watched. Killing Randall does not make them less human. It makes them logical. There's no other option. Randall knows too much, and letting him go poses a threat to their well-being. Randall must die.
First of all, just because the group does stuff doesn't mean that this poor kid Randall, who may have just tagged along with anybody he could so he wouldn't be alone by himself in the apocalypse, is equal to them. Secondly, he's the one who told them about the rape, so don't kill the messenger. He could have lied that he didn't take part, but why bring it up then?
It was a weird thing to bring up.
Yeah, totally.
But,
It was weird because he said they were cute and he shouldn't have said that.
Thanks for writing in other Jason. Oh my god. In the zombie apocalypse, I don't know what your group is there.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon. This is from Dale's Fuzzy Navel. With this super racist group of survivors just on the outskirts of town, do you guys think Merle could be one of them? Possibly leading them? I think you guys talked about it with that building Daryl found while searching for Sophia. Bergen said Sophia was living there, so maybe Merle. I sort of hope they hold off until season 3. I actually hope for a Merle redemption. Maybe he cleans himself up, found God, and saves the group down the line. That'd be cool if he found God and actively redeemed. That'd be an interesting twist for his character.
Yeah, and Steve's group, we'll see. Yeah, we're only have 2 more episodes, so we're running out of time. They are bring back the season. Thanks, Brandon. Dale's Fuzzy Navel. Michael. Jason said he would keep Randall locked up until he proved he was a good guy. How is he supposed to do that? He's locked up. And wouldn't a good guy and a bad guy act basically the same way in the scenario? If Rick were hurt, captured by strangers who had killed 2 of his companions and kept locked up while they discussed whether or not to kill him, wouldn't he try to get away? And wouldn't Shane do the same? If it wouldn't be until they were free to learn their true nature. Anyway, here's my
So Randall didn't try to get away. Maybe he will, but
he tried to get away. He tried to get Carl in.
oh, that's true. You're right. But yeah, I mean, it's not easy. That's for sure. Like I would just try to get to know a little bit, and he could be a super good liar. But I think over time he gets to know most people.
Yeah.
And just tell him, dude, you better not do anything that looks funny, or we're gonna shoot you.
If they let Dale be his keeper,
Yeah.
Dale will do it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Here's his top 5. Irony. Dale spends the entire episode trying to convince the gang not to shoot someone. In the end, it's Carl that gets them to stay their hand. And then it's Carl that gets Dale disemboweled. And then they end up shooting Dale. That's delicious irony. And that's yum. It's hilarious. David like it. You love irony. 4. Shane Man's on trigger. Oh wait, he didn't again. Man's on top, no trigger. She left him on the bus.
Does that mean to kill Randall or Dale? Probably
Both.
Yeah,
Couldn't do
that
it.
would have been harsh.
That would have been harsh. Herschel gives Glenn pocket watch because in zombie apocalypse nothing matters more than punctuality. Oh my god, it's so
Yeah, he was like, I don't need to
but
see
great.
more.
Thanks,
We have a
man.
story.
2. Carl's horrified looking at Dale's face and realizing their special time in the RV is over. Aw. And
That's supposed to be a joke about molestation.
that's hilarious. But Dale thinks so desperate to stop Randall's execution that he speaks with everyone. What? Except T-Dog, because even Dale doesn't give up about T-Dog.
That's true, man.
He's spoken off camera.
You guys got some good top 5 this week.
Yeah, this is great.
This is Ramon from Brazil. I love actors like Dale. Not only is he a good actor, but a nice person too, as I listened to the interview that you guys did. Now I don't know anymore. I heard he quit the show, so they forced his death, which makes sense after his dear friend Daryl left. That's just a slap in the face of the fans of the show and the fans of Jeffrey Dean. I guess. Yeah, I was bummed that he wanted to leave. And I heard he changed his mind and wouldn't let him stay. I'm like, oh, tragic.
Yeah, that's true.
I really love Walking Dead. The series has been my new loss since the beginning, but I'm very scared what's going to happen from now on. I really hope my faith gets reestablished until the finale. But I doubt not even Sophia's death will be like this. Now that you guys, the last question today, will Frank Darabont be missed more and more as the series goes on? I found myself wondering that a little bit after this episode too.
Really, I now it's funny because I felt just the opposite. Like I feel okay, it's in really good hands.
Hope you're right.
Me too. And this next one's from Dino. First and foremost, I would like to say you guys are wonderful. Oh, so you, Dino. I may be one of the many fans, but I truly respect you from the format of the show to the insight. Many occasions your comments have made me see things in a different light. And thank you. Well, I just wanted to know how you guys feel about the death of Dale. I, as a fan, watched the comics feel like Robert Kirkman with Powers of the took shit on their fan. Please excuse that. I feel his death was merely for shock value alone. Additionally, they eliminated a good portion of the comic book that showed the degradation of Dale's character in relationship with others. Every show, in my opinion, requires an id, ego, and super ego. Now that they killed off the super ego, who will take a spot? I personally don't think Andrew can. Anyway, sorry about the love your insight clearing the issue as I'm still distraught about his death. But with a little side face.
I mean, I had this question too. Like, if I think in Glenn Zara he did the Shield, and from what I've heard, like I haven't seen it, but like it's very about corrupt cops, and this one cop has these corrupt methods, and somebody's investigating, the cop's investigating him, so he conspires to kill the cop. So it just sounds very dark and cynical. And I don't want all the characters in The Walking Dead to turn into that. Some of them fine, but not all of them. Like Glenn. But what Danny Miller said today kind of gave me some hope. Like maybe now that Dale's gone, he'll be like a martyr, and some people will come back in that direction.
Right.
Honor, you know,
I hope that's true.
Yeah. Okay, this is last episode. This is a tweet from Mr. Blog. He says, "Walk through golden wheat, chaff and grain pass over hands, so alone in death." That's in honor of the lone zombie from last week's episode.
That's great, Mr. Vlog. You rock.
And then we have one call. Here we go.
Oh yeah, thank God Dale is finally dead. Now actually good actually enjoy the show without having such a unrealistic character. Such as him. The only way better, which would have been if it could have been Felix Shining where Ian said someone grabbed a revolver and said, "Man, you were just too legit to quit." That was just really good. But yeah, good game after.
So don't let me say we represent all sides.
All sides, man.
We should end on the next eulogy, not the call. But thanks for calling in. Shall we watch the next
Let's do it. Next week we have episode 12. This is the penultimate episode for season 2. It is entitled Better Angels. It's written by Evan Riley and Glenn Nazar, and it's directed by Guy Ferland. The little thing on AMC says, the description says, Group learns that someone dangerous may be on the loose near the farm. As night falls, Rick, Shane, Daryl. Yeah, exactly. As night falls, Rick, Shane, Daryl, and Glenn comb the woods to handle the situation and keep the group safe.
Better Angels sounds like maybe it is where they're coming back in that direction. You know, Guild Better Angels is not the same or something.
Yeah, it is. Actually, the first time I saw it, I just read it. I was real quick and I thought it was Better Angels. And I thought, how to shoot something better. Great.
I guess that's it. Huh?
That is.
All right, you ready to close it out?
I am.
All right, that's our show, episode 58. Thanks so much for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Don't forget, give us your best zombie sound by Friday, March 19th at midnight to win this set of beautiful zombie posters. I didn't mention before that these things, if you buy them, are going for $40 a piece online, so they could be valuable collector's items. So please zombie sounds.
And they're beautifully testing.
Anytime if you'd like to leave us a message, you can call us at 650-485-DEAD. That's 650-485-3323.
You can email us at brain@walkingdead.com.
You can check out our website and leave comments at walkingdead.com.
We're also on Twitter at Jason Garrett and on Facebook at facebook.com/deadcast. Thanks for listening. Go get it.
Doom, go way home. Go way home.
Don't you see, if we do this, the people that we were, the world that we know is dead. And there's no world, it's harsh, it's survival of the fittest. That's where I want to live. You really believe if you walk back onto that farm alone, no me, no man, myself, you really believe in whatever bullshit story you cook up? Just say, smoke. I saw that person shoot you down. I already have to. I snapped your neck. Ain't gonna be easy. Low and hard to get over you. You done it before.
To The Walking Dead cast. The podcast dedicated to the show. The Walking Dead. Hey, Zed, welcome to our podcast. I'm Jason.
And I'm Karen.
And this is The Walking Dead cast episode 59. We just got done interviewing Glenn Zara, which was awesome, and you'll hear that in our next episode, which should probably be posted at the same time.
Fabulous. He was so good.
Yeah.
He was really, really good. You know, the one thing that struck me that he said that I just loved is he said that in the show it was like winning the lottery. I thought, you know what? He's probably on the ride of his life.
Yeah, but he's doing a great job.
He is.
Shane's dead.